Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Spotlight. And today we are actually going to be talking to a very good friend of ours and a bride that we just celebrated her first anniversary.
Yes, we just celebrated Laura and Dan's first anniversary just a few weeks ago. And so we thought we'd bring them in and have them talk, or have Laura talk a little bit about her wedding and her experience with us. Again, my name is Jody Harris.
I'm Pat Harris.
And this is my husband and business partner, Pat Harris.
She leaves me out sometimes.
No, I was about to say that I am the ringmaster because I guess I am the ringmaster of Sight and Sound events. I am the girl who makes it all happen, makes it all come together. I'm your point of contact when you first reach out to us. And it's a pleasure to have you here on Spotlight. And I hope that Laura gives you guys some great information so that you can plan that amazing, fantastic wedding. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring her in, or Pat's going to bring in Laura, everybody, who's going to talk to you a little bit about her wedding.
Hi. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
So great to see you.
Great to see you too.
So how does it feel to be a married woman, Laura, for one whole year now?
It's crazy. I can't believe it's been a year already. It feels like it's been a lifetime, but I also can't believe it's been a year. But it's good. Living that lovely military life and trying to, be okay when things change quickly. So it's been helpful in the last couple months for us, but it's been a lot of fun, and I couldn't imagine being stuck in a house with anyone else but Dan. So Absolutely. I'm very thankful for that.
Oh, that's so awesome. And I'm thankful that you had your wedding last year.
Oh, that is a whole other level of thanking.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure we all were, when you were planning your wedding, you're probably like, 2020 sounds like a nice number, 2020.
Yeah.
Thank God.
It hasn't quite turned out that way, but we're going to make it better. That's Absolutely. What we talked about. We want to make it better for everybody. And look forward to the future, to a brighter future, and to better stuff, and to celebrating again and doing all that great stuff that really humans need. I think we all need this.
Absolutely.
We all need positive. And we should talk about how we met, because it's one of the things, it's something that's very close to our heart too. Because Jody, if you can actually talk a little bit about how we first got involved with Laura.
Well, maybe Laura should tell the story, because I remember meeting Laura at a Vegas Woman magazine kind of thing we were at.
It was.
Like I walked up to your table and you could tell the story from there.
Yeah, I actually work for the American Cancer Society, and I was there tabling, trying to get the community to know that we're here with resources and tools for everyone. And Jody, you walked up, and I will never forget, you handed me your business card, and you said to me, I want to get involved. I want to give back. Let's rock the party. And I think that was almost 7 years ago now.
Yeah.
So we've been hanging out for quite some time.
Exactly. And it's been great. I mean, we love you guys. We love what we do for the American Cancer Society, and we cannot imagine our October without you guys. We love it. It's like, and
we look forward to it every year.
And our team loves it. It's not just us, it's everybody who works for us. Our photographers and videographers and everybody, the DJs, everybody loves it. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
And that leads me to my next question, because you found us because you had experienced a little bit of Sight and Sound.
Yes. So I was very lucky, I think, because you have rocked a party for me multiple times. And I just knew that I honestly needed to talk to you first before I went any further when I got engaged. I think you were probably like one of the top 5 people I called so that I could make sure I could secure you guys. So I think you played a huge role in my wedding and making it truly seamless and unbelievably amazing on day of. And you knew me and you knew my husband for a couple years before that, which was really helpful. So you understood my style, and you answered all my questions, which I know were a lot, which I was very thankful for.
But that's okay, because let's face it, you don't plan, unless you do this for a living. You don't plan weddings every day. You're booking a lot of this stuff and doing a lot of these things for the first time. So if you didn't have questions, there would probably be something wrong.
No, definitely. And I am slightly in the event world, but the wedding world is so different. So having your knowledge and help throughout the way. Like it definitely, even it's just overwhelming from the beginning to be like, oh my God, now I'm planning this giant thing. I don't even know where to start. And Jody, being able to work with you and the Sight and Sound was just so easy for me because I knocked out so many things in one shot. And you were like, let me tell me everything that you're thinking. I'll put a proposal together, and then we'll go from there. And that really helped me break it down and just chunk it out better. So I was very thankful for that.
Because there's a lot of stress involved. And even though, let's face it, you plan events for 25, 30,000 people for these fundraisers, the cancer walks are giant events, but it's completely different when you shift over to a wedding and it's you. So there's still that stress there.
Yeah, stress is the understatement.
Yeah.
It was so different and very overwhelming. And I think what was really nice is being able to see all of my options and being able to honestly coordinate everything through one company, because I just listen to friends and they're going this way with someone and this way, and it just sounds like a lot of extra work. And being able to come into one place and say, okay, great, this is Jody. She's going to handle everything from here on out, day of, like she's your go-to. She knows all of the players. It was just really easy for me to like pass it off on day of and focus on me.
That's what it's all about.
Because I think the number one thing that ruins couples' weddings, and I will say this because I've been doing this longer than Jody. I started back, all I'm going to say is Reagan was president when I started. So I think that was the early 1900s. I'm not sure. It's a blur now. But the number one thing I think that I've seen over the years that ruins people's weddings is them stressing over all the little stuff, and they never get to enjoy anything on their wedding day because they're just stressed over all these little things. And you can do that to yourself,
right.
But you can also take that off by handing over that responsibility to someone who can take care of it for you.
I agree.
That was nice, Laura, because you tell everybody like what services we provided so they kind of have an idea.
Yeah. So I went to you first. Absolutely. Number one thing was to be my DJ, because I've seen you rock a party and that's what I wanted. It was between food and music. Those were the two most important things for me and my family. So that was the first thing that I absolutely knew I wanted you for. And then through just talking to you, I ended up using you as a photographer, and we did a photo booth, which was just the best ever. And then also a day of coordinator, which I would never, ever not recommend someone at least having that day of coordinator, because that was probably for me, my most favorite piece. I know for my guests, everything else was, but I was able to enjoy all of the other pieces because you were there and you had the whole show running so smoothly. So
thank you. Well, we made a great team, you and I, because there was a lot of communication, like leading into the wedding. There was a lot of communication, a lot of emails exchanged. I mean, you didn't hold back. And that would be the advice I would give to any couple. Like, don't hold back, like tell us, you got to tell us, you were great, Laura. I mean, you had everything, you and I together, we worked on our timeline together. We knew exactly when, those LED marquee letters that you had gotten, we knew when they were coming. We knew when the florist was coming. We knew when the chairs were coming. Like we together, you and I worked all this out ahead of time. And like that week just prior to your wedding, you were able to focus on your hair, your nails, all your friends and family coming into town. And, and it was nice to be at the rehearsal too, the day before.
Yes. That helps. I remember being, even the day before the rehearsal, my friends were coming into town because everyone had to travel to me. So Vegas wasn't my destination wedding because I live here, but everyone traveled to me. So it was fun to get everyone coming in. And just one of my really great friends said to me, she's like, "You're the calmest bride I have ever met." And honestly, I'm like, cool. Can you tell my mom that? And also that's because of Jody. And she's like, "Who's Jody?" I'm like, "She's literally my lifeline right now."
Thank you.
So I think that was huge. And then you getting to meet the key players in the wedding party the night before and having you there helped. And you saw the run of show for the ceremony. And then you took over making sure that my guests got from the hotel to the church and back. Like all of those little pieces that I was stressing about, knowing that you were there the day before and knew and saw it all was just, I didn't even honestly think about it on day of, because you came and checked in on me and said, hey, I'm here. I got you. Don't worry. And then everyone was like, Jody's amazing. Like that woman you have helping is great.
Oh, that's so awesome. But it does, I mean, because, having not coordinated someone's wedding before and being on the other side as well, like, I feel like I'm doing that duty because like nobody gets the photographer to the right room. Like we knew where everybody was going to go. I personally walked Raphael up to, Dan and introduced them and had you and Raphael, had that private conversation prior to your wedding, and then bringing them to the room, making sure that the flowers got there, like all the little details. So you didn't have to worry about it. It's so important, because again, I've seen the other side when somebody doesn't have that person there, and it really stresses them out because, like, I don't see where my flowers are. And I'm like, hey, I'm the DJ, but I'll help you out, so absolutely.
And I think like for me, that little thing was, I just wanted to make sure my candles got lit right on the table. Yeah. And I was like, Jody, I just want to make sure. And you're like, I got it. Don't worry. They're good. And it was. And everything that I could have imagined went well. Everything looked the way I wanted it to in the room. And I honestly just passed it off to you, which was so helpful. And that communication, and you said it before, like ask the questions and listen. Like you have so much more experience than probably a lot of people coming to you for help. So like listen to the suggestions, because I think there were a couple things that I had asked you about and you weighed in on, and I took your advice, and thank God I did, because it was just, I needed somebody who knew what they were doing, and then that was not me.
Yeah, because it's like anything else. It's you really want to do what the client wants, but you also have to be honest with them and say, look, this may not work well because. Now, if you want to do it, we'll do our best at doing it, but maybe you might want to do this. And that's where a professional comes in, suggesting something that might work better, or a different, even sometimes it's just a different order of activities.
Yeah. Yes.
If we do this, it's going to slow all this down,
Sure.
And that's not just saying, yeah, okay, whatever you want. Because that's a person who doesn't really care. They're just going to, there's whatever you want. They write it down and then they kind of sort of do it maybe okay.
Yeah.
No,
I absolutely felt, and Pat, I know you were there too, and that helped make the day even more special for me. But even day of, while you were emceeing, like, and getting the program going, I think we pivoted from the schedule, but it just flowed, and you could feel the heart and the love in what you were doing, and it showed in how you produced my event and my wedding. Like it just. Everybody was involved and rocking on the dance floor, which was super important. I said I didn't want people sitting. And so, you came out, you were engaging with my guests, and that just meant like the world to me, because that was the experience that I wanted everyone to have, that they were part of something more than just one day. And I will tell you, my friends and family are still talking about my party. So
I know I miss them. I miss your friends and family. I'm looking at some of the pictures.
And
Pat's going to put up some of the photos.
I'll bring it up here so you can see here. Hold on. Let me.
But what a fun day. I mean, and again, you also worked with Raphael. Why don't you explain a little bit what it was like working with Raphael?
Well, I loved that you had us meet and talk, and he was really great about saying, like, send me photos that you like so that I can see your style. So he really got to learn me as a human, versus just doing what he is really great at, is taking the photos and making them memorable. And I appreciate that, but there were some really special moments that I wanted captured, and he made sure to do that. So I thought that was great, and we were able to kind of talk and get to know each other prior to. And then I guess he knew I was a little nervous because he kept reminding me to breathe and to smile. So he melded really well with my family and made sure that, he captured not only all the things that I wanted, but all of the things that I would never have thought to capture either. which is probably like a photo that you're seeing now. I would have never have been like, oh, capture my first dance. I was more concerned about, making sure that my parents were photographed and things like that. So I just thought he captured some amazing moments. And I loved that, but I just loved that he was so open to hearing what I wanted to.
Absolutely.
And again, trusting the expert, right?
Well, and that's, I think, what it is we have to, somebody who's really good at what they do is going to take what you want, but not just do what you want, not just do, if you say A, B, C, D, that's all I'm doing. Okay, that's great. Let me add this to it. Let me do this. And then you're like, wow, I never thought, like you said, I never even thought of that. I never thought of doing this or never thought of doing that. So we make sure that all of your needs are taken care of. And then you get the bonus stuff. And then you get this great stuff that all the years of experience come into play. And that's where finding somebody who, again, not just experienced, but passionate and loves what they do, because you also have to love what you do.
Absolutely. And did you think, did it make a difference that we did this full time? I mean, this is our full time gig, not a side hustle gig. I guess, we could devote more time to you because it is a full time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, from start to finish, I absolutely knew I was working with professionals and somebody that I could call on honestly at any moment and be like, hey, what about this? Your knowledge of things that I didn't even think about, was super helpful, and being able to really make sure that I could trust what you were saying and that you were there. So on my rehearsal day, you were going to show up at the church, and we were going to be able to do that because you didn't get a random phone call or, whatever the situation might have been. Or, I mean, I just couldn't honestly imagine someone doing this on the side, because I felt like it took a lot of work for you and me to do this together. And I could have probably still used 3 more of me and yous. So I've told my friends, I don't recommend the DIY type stuff when it comes to the wedding if you want it to be smooth and seamless, because I needed to make sure that I could count on someone that was going to be there for me. And I mean, I absolutely felt that with you, but I don't know if I would have felt that if it was my mom just helping me, who would have gotten pulled in 1,000 different directions, or a sister, or even just a friend. I wanted to hire someone that I knew specifically was going to do this job and complete it, and then my guests could enjoy their time at the wedding without having jobs, so to speak.
Yeah, because DIY may save a few bucks here or there, but the reality is DIY equals stress, and it equals not enjoying the evening. And sometimes it's not just the bride and groom that's not enjoying the evening; it's all the family members that are involved that have to help out. That at the end of the night, they're like, "What happened? I don't remember because I was too busy putting out favors and doing this."
It drives me crazy. You have no idea, Laura, how it drives me crazy when I do a wedding and I see that friend or family member running around like a chicken without a head because there wasn't anybody there to coordinate and do all the stuff that they're supposed to do. And it's so simple. And I really wish more people would take advantage, because when you go to a wedding, I mean, you want to be a guest it goes by. Laura, you could tell them. How fast did that go by?
Oh, I know that it went by extremely quickly because I extended my party twice. So I was like, oh, can Raphael stay another hour? Can we keep the photo booth open another hour? Can you guys DJ another hour? So it goes by so quickly. And I just couldn't imagine my mom not being able to enjoy all of that with me, or, even a friend or, any family member. So like I said, that was probably for me personally, the single greatest thing that I did in my wedding was having you there and just owning it. And I didn't have to worry. I honestly didn't worry about a thing that day.
Yep. No, that's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about music, because that's a question that a lot of couples have when it comes to music. You kind of knew already what you wanted, huh?
Yes. So music is extremely important to me, to my family. It's how we rock our parties. I think it was great because I let you know, hey, I'm going to put lists of things together. So we don't have to play it all. Again, I rested on you knowing when the right song should be played and how to transition. I just wanted you to see like the songs that meant a lot. And I think I even highlighted like some of them that I knew my family really wanted to hear. And then I even went to like, please don't play any of this stuff because it's not my family's thing. Even though there's younger generations there, I want everyone to enjoy it. So that was really important to me. I mean, music was honestly number one, that and the food side. Yeah. And I knew that you would rock the party. You understood. You asked a lot of questions, and then, you know, just again making sure that I felt like, here's the list. I got you. Don't worry. And that's exactly what it was. I didn't worry, and I don't even know if I heard a song that. And then I think what also happened too is like there was maybe a songs that weren't on the list, but they totally fit in that genre of music that we were going for. So it was great to have that, your extensive knowledge and just making that mesh in with what I was looking for. So again, trusting the professionals, right? Like, I just can't say it enough.
It's important, especially in a city like Las Vegas, where the vast majority of the people at these events that we do are not from here.
Yeah.
So we want to get to know what you like, what you don't like, but you still allow the flexibility to say, here's some songs I like, but you know, you have clients that'll say, here's the songs, play it in this order, and that's never a good thing because you know, you don't know what the crowd is vibing to. You might have to shift or call an audible, so to speak, and try something different. But if we know the styles that you like, it makes the DJ's job so much easier because you may have songs that you grew up with on the other side of the country that we don't know about.
Well, she's from New Jersey.
Yeah, you're from New Jersey. So yeah, for you, that's easy.
A big, you know,
for Jody, that was easy. Connected.
Another thing, we vibe, you know. We're both Italian, you know.
Yes.
We're from Italian families, and we're from Jersey, you know.
Right. And that's what's important. You know, the bonding between us, it just clicked. And again, I knew I could trust it all to you, and it was such a big piece. Honestly, probably bigger than even my dress and all of that kind of stuff. Like, music had to be good because that's what people remember. They remember the party. I mean, they're not going to remember my centerpieces, so maybe like, you know, calm down a little on that. But I think they remembered definitely the party that you rocked, and then also even the photo booth because that was like a takeaway for them. And actually, I just recently saw a bunch of my friends and family posting those and resharing them with the 1-year anniversary. So that takeaway was really good too. Yeah, there you go.
Having a little fun in there.
I think there's another picture. I think it's the next one, Pat. If you hit the next one, I think the next one shows all of us with Laura.
Oh, wait,
I think the other way.
The other way. Hold on.
The other way. It shows us all. There it is.
There we go.
Our crew, our Sight and Sound team, because there's T and there's Raphael and there's you, and Dan's got bunny ears in the back. You know, somebody was holding a sign. Is that Pat? I said, I'm here for the booze.
Yeah, that was me.
And then Raphael's assistant was with us. So she was there helping out too, which was a huge help, I'm sure. And I love the template. I love the design that you picked out, you know, with the, you know, welcome to fabulous, you know, Laura and Dan's wedding. That was very cool. So what made you decide to get a photo booth? What made you decide?
To be honest, I didn't even think about it until we spoke the first time, and you were just showing me all the different options because I didn't even know like some of them even existed, and I wanted an experience type thing that we could do. So it was probably our first conversation, and then I really just thought about it, and I wanted it, and it looked fun and something like a little different, and it was very cost effective, to be honest, and I recommend it to everybody. I have like 3 friends that are all unfortunately trying to get married this year. And I was recommended to all 3 of them to get that.
Well, you know what the big takeaway I heard from you a little while ago was that on your 1-year anniversary, people were sending you photo booth pictures so there you go, right there. If that doesn't say get a photo booth, you know, nothing else does.
Exactly. And it was great. I think everyone, I'm pretty sure when I was looking through all of them, every one of my guests used that photo booth. Even like aunts and uncles that typically don't do that, they were in there taking photos. So it was a great immediate snapshot too, because you, I think, had them back to me like 2 days after my wedding. So it was a really, like, everyone was still together, so we were all able to see them together, and it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun in the photo booth.
It's a nice little surprise that you get like right after, where you're just not thinking about it, and all of a sudden, hey, look at the inbox.
And the props. I mean, to see people put on, like, I'm sure you have some relatives, your relatives are fun, but you would have never thought that your mother would put on a pair of bunny ears, and a feather boa, or, the props are so much fun, when people get to do that.
The props were great.
I love that. Your husband is holding the WWE championship belt there. I don't know. The champ.
He's the champ.
But that's great. I love it. We're getting close to wrapping up. So did you have a favorite moment? Is there a standout moment from your wedding reception that you could think of off the top of your head? I mean, I know the whole thing, but was there one special piece of it?
I think there were two. Again, something I never thought of, but you and Pat brought out the limbo bar, and we did that around the ballroom. And again, I feel like every picture you look at of that, the entire party was up and on the dance floor doing the limbo bar with us. So, I absolutely remember going around the room and grabbing people, and it gave me an opportunity to see a lot of my guests. So I loved that. And again, something I didn't think about. And then the other thing that you did too was, you knew I had a lot of nieces and nephews. So you had, fun little props for them that you threw out, and that just exploded the party all over again. So probably two of my most favorite memories, because it engaged all of my guests and all the people I loved, and they were all having fun, which was what I wanted. And you helped me deliver on that. So awesome. Those were probably my two favorite.
And I think the big thing here, and we try to ask everybody towards the end of each show, is what would be the biggest piece of advice that you would give to somebody planning their event? If, what would help out a couple the most? What do you think would be the biggest piece of advice?
Don't rush it. Take your time. So I actually planned over 1.5 years versus a year, which I think was really helpful for me to just feel a little calmer. And then don't do it by yourself. Hire Jody because day of it, that coordinator piece was huge. So I have a little bit of background on the event type thing. So I chose to have you do the rehearsal and day of with me versus the entire planning. But if you have not ever done events, or you have no idea where to start, like, absolutely the number one investment I would say is investing in the coordinator.
Yep.
Taking away that stress.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was life-changing, honestly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's possible to be stressed and have a good time simultaneously. I don't know if that's possible.
I would venture to guess it's pretty difficult.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. And I'm so thankful that, that it worked out and it was beautiful and it was everything you wanted it to be, because, we have known each other for quite a while. So, I had a little inside information going in, but communication is so important. You've got to communicate, I lived, eat, and breathe you and Dan, for Pat can tell you, for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's like, when your wedding day came around, it wasn't like, oh, I got to do a wedding. It's Laura and Dan's wedding. We're going to Laura and Dan's wedding. Like, everybody knew Laura and Dan. All my friends, all my family, my next door neighbors, everybody knows Laura and Dan. So, it's all about that communication, if you want to, if you want it to be perfect and fun.
And I think absolutely communication, and you make it very easy too on your website when fill in the names of the people, and I took a lot of that and I actually just screenshot it and printed it out so everybody had it, because I thought that was really helpful to keep me organized, honestly. And so I think that was also a great tool that I didn't realize existed, that you offered with everything, and help me talk to you more, honestly, because I would go in and make changes and let you know, and you'd go in and look. But, it just, you could tell everybody on your team that day just loved what they do and were so invested in me. Like I felt like I was the only bride you've ever talked to, and it was all about me. Like you're saying, like everyone knew. You made me feel that way too, which was just made it even more special for me.
No, thank you.
And that's why we do what we do, because, you know, it's like anything else. We've talked about this before. We could get jobs and make a lot more money than we're making now, but would they be as, at the end of the day, would we have that same feedback and that same feeling of accomplishment? You know, the fact that we will see people that we did their events 17, 18, 20, 25 years ago, and they'll scream out our names and go, "Oh my God, we had the best time."
Yeah, in the middle of a grocery store. It just recently happened. You know, we got screamed at, and everybody's like, looking, who are these people?
So there's a little bit of selfishness in that, because, you know, we get that feeling back. You know, when we get to do what we did for you and your husband, that comes back to us. That gives Beth that warm feeling in the heart too, because we know that we are a permanent imprint, a positive permanent imprint in somebody's memory and in their heart. And that means a lot to us. And that's what's important, why you said that you could tell the people have passion. We require passion. It sounds weird, but, you know, we get people that work for us for a short period of time that it's just kind of a job for them. They generally don't last. Because one thing, you know, yes, when you work for us, you have to work hard. You have to be good at what you do. But the number one thing that you have to have is a love for what you do. Because if you don't love what you do, you'll never be great at this.
Yeah.
And never do it to the level that, you know, because you got to think of it. We have to treat it like somebody's doing it for us. Who would I want doing it for me? Yeah. And that's how we look at it.
Yep. Yep. No, absolutely. Well, Laura, this has been great. Please tell Dan we said hello.
Yes,
absolutely.
Dan is working, everybody, so that's why he couldn't be here today. But please tell him we love him, and you know, we send him our best, and you and the family and everything. And we really appreciate you coming on today and just telling everybody and sharing your story with everybody about, you know, your wedding day.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I was honored that you asked me. So thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot, and hopefully we'll see you really soon at
another fingers event. Crossed.
Yes, October or sooner for sure.
Yes. Well, sooner, hopefully.
Yeah, actually.
We know the big one in October. We want that.
One.
Hopefully there's some things before then.
Yes, I agree.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, thank you so much once again for watching another episode of Spotlight. Again, we want to thank Laura and Dan. Dan's not here, but he's with Spirit. He's here with us in spirit. And keep watching this Spotlight shows. Subscribe to our channel. And when a new show comes on, you'll get a little ding with the bell. And we will see you guys real soon. Be safe, everybody. Thank you.